It was supposed to be a short detour. I was driving back from my brother's funeral in New Orleans, alone in a rented Dodge Charger. I wanted space, quiet. I didn't want to talk, didn't want to think. I turned off the radio somewhere outside of Baton Rouge and just drove. Windows down, air washing over me like a sedative. I was supposed to fuel up before crossing into Texas, but I didn't. I saw the gas light blink on just past midnight on an empty stretch of Highway 90. Flat road, no lights, no signs, and the gas needle falling fast. Then, out of nowhere, a small sign lit up on the right. Fillmore Gas, 1 mile ahead. It wasn't on the GPS, but I followed it anyway. The station looked almost too perfect. A single building, 1 row of old school pumps beneath a tin overhang. The air was still, dead. The desert wind had gone completely silent. I rolled up next to pump 3 and cut the engine. It sputtered like it was grateful to stop. There was no one around. Then I saw him, the attendant, standing behind the glass of the convenience store, perfectly still, smiling. He wore an outdated red vest and a white button-up, no name tag, no hat, just a wide, unmoving grin. His skin was pale, not sickly, too clean, like he's been carved from soap. When I stepped out of the car, the automatic door slid open, without a sound. I walked inside. The bell didn't chime, the lights didn't flicker, no hum from the coolers, no radio playing overhead, just silence. And the man behind the counter, still smiling. "Pump 3, I said. "Do I pay first?" He didn't answer, just stared. After a long pause, he said, "Have you filled up enough to make it out?" I blinked. What? His smile didn't change. "Have you filled up enough to make it out?" "I haven't pumped anything yet," I said. No response. So I backed out. I returned to the car and tried pump 3. It clicked, then started pumping automatically. The nozzle was still on the cradle. I turned to look behind the station, expecting to see maybe a small town, another building, anything, but there was nothing, just flat desert. The station stood on an island of cracked concrete surrounded by an ocean of black sand. No road behind it, no lights, only the road in. I walked back inside. The man was still smiling, still motionless, still staring. "Hey," I said, "where the hell are we?" He clocked his head, the first time he'd moved at all. "You shouldn't be here yet." I froze. What does that mean? He reached slowly beneath the counter and pulled out a mirror. An old, tarnished hand mirror with a wooden handle, and placed it on the counter, facing me. I looked down and didn't see my reflection. Back at the car, the pump kept running, even after the tank was full, even after it should have overflowed, but there was no spillage, no smell of fuel, and the gauge on the counter just kept rising. Full, full plus, full plus plus. The screen on the pump didn't show gallons, it showed numbers, dates. 6th of the 12th, 1993, 8th of the 29th, 2007, 10th of the 3rd, 2021, 12th of the 4th, 2023, 12th of the 4th, 2024, 12th of the 4th, 2025. Future dates. And then it stopped. The pump clicked. I turned back towards the store, but the building was dark, lights out, windows black, and the man gone. But someone was standing at the edge of the desert now, facing the station. Same uniform, same height. But his smile was wider, his eyes pitch black, his arms hung like ropes, fingers twitching like they'd been searching for something to hold. I ran to the car, tried to start it. Nothing. The dashboard flashed, transaction incomplete. Then on the pump screen, attendant must verify exit. I got out slowly. The man was closer now, still smiling, still watching. I stepped forward. "Please," I whispered, "let me go." He didn't move, but then he raised one hand, pointed at my chest. I looked down. There was a gas receipt pinned to my shirt, dated tomorrow. "Transaction complete," he said, and vanished. I turned. The station was gone. The car was gone. I was standing in the middle of the desert with nothing but that receipt. Then headlights. A trucker stopped, picked me up, said he'd seen no gas station anywhere nearby, no turnoffs, nothing but flat roads for miles. I didn't argue. I didn't speak. I just sat there and tried not to look into the mirror. A month later, I got a letter in the mail, no return address, but inside was a receipt from Fillmore Gas for my soul, and the note, "You made it out, but it will need another." I used to work for a private logistics company that had me driving across the country every other week. Long haul, no questions, just deliver the sealed cargo and stay quiet. I was in my late 20s, single, and didn't care where I went or what was in the back of my truck. As long as the paycheck cleared, I'd go anywhere. This happened about 3 years ago. Somewhere in the middle of Oklahoma, I was headed east on a 2-lane highway with nothing on either side but black hills and tall grass. I'd missed my last scheduled fill-up and I didn't think much of it until the gas light blinked on and I realised I hadn't seen another car in over an hour. I had a quarter tank, maybe 15 miles left. The GPS didn't help, it was frozen, and then I saw it. A glow in the distance, neon red and green lights flickering between the trees, a gas station. It was the kind of station you only see in road trip horror stories. Run-down, retro signage, an old-fashioned overhang with pumps that looked like they hadn't been upgraded since the 80s. But the lights were on. Cliffside Fuel Stop, the sign read. No price listed. There were 6 pumps. The first 5 looked dusty, unused. Only pump 6 had fresh tyre marks beside it. The lights above it flickered softly, giving the concrete a sickly green glow. I pulled up, left the engine running and stepped out. There was no other cars, no road noise, just the soft hum of the buzzing light above pump 6. Then I noticed something strange. The screen wasn't digital, it was blank, like it had never worked. Just a slot for the cash. Before I could do anything, a voice called out from the store, "Don't use that one." I turned. An old man stood in the doorway of the convenience store. Short, round, unshaven. He wore a faded blue jacket and a trucker cap with an unfamiliar logo. "Use pump 2, he said. "It's slow, but safe." I told him pump 2 looked like it was out of order. He frowned. "Then wait." I didn't wait. I was tired, irritated, and didn't want to risk running dry. So I reached for the nozzle on pump 6. It was ice cold, even though it was still 70 degrees out that night. As soon as I lifted it, the old man vanished back into the store without another word. I stuck in a 20 and the pump clicked to life, loudly, like a motor grinding awake after years of sleep. The nozzle hissed once and then started pumping on its own. The screen stayed blank, no gallon count, no price. I checked my tank meter, it started to rise. Half tank, 3/4, full. It's still pumping. I tried to pull the handle, but it wouldn't budge. I hit the stop switch. Nothing. I yanked the nozzle and it snapped off, clean break, but the fuel kept flowing even without the nozzle attached. I backed away, horrified, expecting the car to flood, to explode, but the fuel disappeared the moment it touched my car. No overflow, no smell, just gone. The tank level on my dashboard began blinking. Full, full plus, then full plus plus, and then the engine shut off. I ran to the store. It was bright inside, too bright, every fluorescent bulb buzzing violently. Aisles fully stocked with old snacks, brands I haven't even seen in a decade. Jolt Cola, Bonkers candy, Hubba Bubba in metal tins. No expiration dates. The old man behind the counter, his eyes were glassy, milky, like he's been staring too long at nothing. Told you not to use that pump. I slammed my hands on the counter. What the hell is going on? He didn't flinch. Now you gotta feed it. Feed what? The pump. I laughed, despite myself. It's just a gas pump. He slowly shook his head. Not anymore. He pointed to a small door behind the counter. Check the book. Inside the back office was a safe. The door was open. Inside, a large black binder labelled Pump 6 Ledger. It was filled with names, dates, vehicle types, and entries like 4th of 11/91, Ford Bronco 24 gallons, host accepted. 6th of the 3rd 96, Dodge Caravan 17 gallons, host incompatible, escaped. 7th of the 21st 03, Chevy Impala 19 gallons, host taken. Dozens of names crossed out, others highlighted in red, and at the bottom was a blank entry. No date. Toyota Tacoma 26 gallons. My truck. My fuel. My turn. I rushed outside. The pump had stopped, but my truck was now moving. Not rolling, idling, shifting. The tires twisting inwards like jolts. The metal chassis breathed, huffing small clouds of steam from the grille, and from the fuel line a dark sludge leaked on the ground, burning it. The cab was still open. I stepped inside and the door slammed shut on its own, locked. My reflection in the window stared back at me, except it wasn't my reflection. He blinked first and smiled. I turned to run, but the old man was already there, standing beside the pump. You belong to it now? I begged him to help. He just shrugged. You pumped it, you broke the nozzle, you made the offering, ain't nothing I can do. The lights around the pump shut off. The ground beneath it opened, slow and silent. My truck sank into it like sand swallowing a corpse. Gone. Just the pump left behind, gleaming in the moonlight. I woke up in my apartment the next morning. No truck, no wallet, no phone. Just a set of keys on my kitchen table. One of them was for pump 6. It was tagged with the word next. I don't drive anymore, but I still check my mail every week because eventually someone new will use that pump, and when they do, I'll get my chance to come back. It was supposed to be a spring break road trip, Phoenix to Santa Fe. 5 friends crammed into my cousin Vince's dad's old Chevy Suburban, loaded up with coolers, camping gear, and a speaker that rattled with every bass drop. We left at sunset, driving straight through the night across Arizona's vast emptiness. It was somewhere past midnight when the gaslight came on, just as we crossed into New Mexico. We weren't too worried. The GPS showed a small town coming up, just 15 miles ahead. Then the GPS blinked, glitched, and died. Our phones followed, simultaneously losing signal like a switch had flipped. We were surrounded by desert and black sky, and the gas needle was already on empty. 20 minutes of silence passed before we saw it. At first, we thought it was a mirage, a flicker of neon in the distance. But it got brighter as we approached. A gas station, seemingly floating out of the dust. Blue and red neon lights buzzing above a curved roof, fluorescence casting shadows across a single pump island and a rundown shop. No other cars, no road signs, no town, just a station in the middle of nowhere. Vince laughed. I guess someone's watching out for us. It had no name, just gas, painted on the glass doors. The place was fully lit, but looked frozen in time. Inside were dusty candy shelves, a soda cooler, and a counter with an old analog register. The pump outside was even older, one of those rotating drum types that clicked with every gallon. Vince went inside to pay with cash. I stayed with the car, watching the horizon. It was weird how quiet it was. No wind, no insects, just a low electrical hum from the lights. Then I saw the sign, taped to the pump in crooked handwriting. Don't top off, no matter what it says. Vince came back out pale. The guy inside didn't say anything, just took the cash and pointed. He started fueling. The numbers clicked rapidly, then slowed, then clicked backwards. Hey, it's counting in reverse. He pulled the nozzle, nothing came out. The pump clicked again, back to 0. Then it started again, on its own. We decided to explore. The back of the building had a hallway, 4 doors, one locked, one marked employees only, one labelled storage, and the last was unlabelled. Naturally, we opened that one. It led to a stairwell, downwards, way deeper than a 1-floor gas station should have gone. We stepped down a few steps, then more. The sound changed, the air thickened, and suddenly we were somewhere else. We came out into a massive underground chamber, like a warehouse, but the floor was covered in gas pumps, hundreds of them, identical, silent, waiting. All pointed inwards towards a dark pit at the centre. We heard something, a car engine idling. We turned and saw our Suburban already at the centre of the pit. Lights off, no one inside. We turned back the way we came, but the stairwell, gone. We ran across the endless rows of pumps trying to reach the Suburban. That's when the others appeared. Not people, not exactly. Shapes, walking backwards, heads tilted wrong, faces smudged like old oil on a mirror, each one pumping invisible gas into the empty air, each one whispering, "Top off, top off, top off." Vince screamed. One of them reached out, fingers stretching like liquid rubber. We ran and ran until we were back outside. It was morning. The sun was up. We were on the side of the highway. Suburban parked, tank full. Our phones had signal again, but none of us remember leaving the station. None of us remembered the road back. We tried to find it again. We mapped every road we took, asked locals, asked rangers. No one knew of a station like that. Satellite images showed nothing, but sometimes I dream of that glow, of the pump counting backwards, of my reflection in the glass, smiling back at me, even when I'm not.